We already spoke with Pires Schutz, but we want to talk to him again. He's live in Washington, D.C. And right now, Pires, I know you're joined by Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia, who will be part of these hearings that will unfold tomorrow.
Well, Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia, you're right, Tia, obviously very invested in this issue of immigration and what's happening on the ground in L.A. and Chicago yesterday. We're right outside his office, and before we go in, we have to wipe our shoes on the welcome mat there. I don't know why you would choose that as your welcome mat, Congressman, but thanks for joining us. So while we walk into your office, why don't you kind of give us the highlights here?
So we have the Pope, the latest addition in terms of artwork to our office. And then we have some of the classics of Chicago, the L system up there, a classical picture of the CTA from, I think, the 1930s. And then a combination of the Little Village Arch, the corridor on Division Street to the Puerto Rican community, and then some general artwork, and of course a throwback to the 2015 election runoff with Rahm Emanuel.
Oh, okay, I remember that very well. I covered that when you ran for mayor, pushed him into a runoff. So bringing some of Little Village here to Washington, D.C. Got a nice office. So some serious issues. Are you anticipating the president calling the National Guard to Chicago, given what's happening in L.A.?
I wouldn't be surprised. This military-style attack on immigrants is part of the theatrics, unfortunately very dangerous, that seeks to distract from the president's big, ugly bill. The fact that it may be in trouble in the Senate, and more importantly, that it seeks to make the rich richer at the expense of cutting health care and nutrition for people across the country.
You're talking about his budget bill that is getting some pushback in his own party. What about Governor Prtizker testifying tomorrow? What would you advise him to do? He's going to face some difficult questioning from some Republicans.
Without a doubt, but he will underscore that the Trust Act in Illinois was passed under a Republican, a conservative Republican mayor. It had bipartisan support. It's worked fine. Law enforcement thinks it's a good idea. Building trust so that people feel confident in reporting crimes. Everyone is important, and there's a history behind it. The city of Chicago has been a sanctuary city for 40 years. I stood with Harold Washington when he proclaimed it as such. These things are working fine. This is all a provocation of Donald Trump to distract from the failures of his presidency thus far.
All right, Congressman, when we see the images coming out of L.A., we see some cars on fire, isolated incidents of vandalism and folks throwing things at law enforcement, but then we see some normal protests. When you see images of people waving the Mexican flag, does that send a mixed message to folks who are talking about being able to stay in this country?
I think people are angry at the attacks of Donald Trump that have been going on for 10 years, and I think that is one of the motivators. I encourage people to wave American flags because we're as American as anyone else, and I also urge them to express themselves non-violently. It's how gains in this country have been made. Most people, that's what they do. There are some provocateurs we've got to watch out, and being infiltrated by people who have bad designs for the immigrant movement.
And that does happen in these protests. I've covered many of them where there are some bad actors that come in and try to provoke. All right, Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia, thank you for bringing us to your Washington lair here. And as we said, Tia, we have live coverage all day long, including on Paris on Politics tonight at 9:30, with more on Pritzker's big testimony tomorrow and all the things happening in D.C. this week. Back to you.
All right, Pires, thank you so much.